You're listening to Garden Master Ken Lain and the Top 10 Gardener Podcast. Welcome to the Top 10 Garden Show.
So we are back in the studio with Lisa Waters Lane. She comes each week and just shares garden questions. What are other gardeners thinking about? What are they sharing? What are they asking? What are we seeing? And that could be via email, via Facebook, via Instagram. I mean, it's coming from, or right here, actually in the garden center, people asking questions. We see, I don't know, how many baggies did you look at this week?
No.
I mean, people bring in Ziploc baggies full of bugs, death, which we appreciate. I'm glad you sealed it so we don't spread it to all the other all the other plants here. I get really nervous when I just see a twig coming in. It's covered in scale, covered in mildew, covered in. We don't want that. So
No, baggies are greatly appreciated.
Yep.
And actually bringing in a sample is hugely useful. Because sometimes when people describe things, those words, we all get mixed up in words, meanings. And so to have a sample in front of your face and we can look at it under a little microscope, it's very helpful.
Is the microscope working now? Did you get that figured out? Oh, good. I know you mentioned it, and then I forgot I got another one at home. So
it kind of has a mind of its own sometimes, but I've been talking sweetly to it, and it's been working lately. So pretty cool.
Yep. So microscope, we got a microscope that just plugs right into the back of a huge screen TV. Slickest invention ever. Not a microscope. Like you can watch us look at it together on the big screen TV. It's really cool.
Yes.
So anyway.
Easy to see spider mite with. And which is, I've been seeing a lot of spider mite out there.
'Tis the season.
So if you, especially some plants spider mites love junipers.
Yeah.
They love the little Alberta spruce. When there's certain things that they really love. Ivy is another one. So I kind of walked the neighborhoods and I walked by this one house and I went, oh my gosh.
You knock on the door and go, hey, you've got spider mite. Get out of here. I don't got spiders.
And the thing is, it's starting to really kill off part of their juniper. So it's something, go out in your yard and peruse a little bit. So spider mites are that real fine webbing. Kind of looks like it has specks in it, or sometimes it can look dusty. But it is definitely something you want to get on top of right away.
Had them on YEW a couple of years ago, and I took my phone out just with a black screen, tapped the foliage over the black screen without the power on. And if you see dust crawling around the screen, you've got spider mites. And it's not just one. You'll see like the screen is covered with dust crawling around. And they've got a scarifying mouth part. So they kind of scrape the tissue off by the bazillions till the plant starts to lose its tissue and it can no longer create photosynthesis. And so it can no longer take in nutrients from the sun and the plant dies. It succumbs. You can literally kill this thing you can hardly see can literally kill the plant.
So be aware of it. That's our public service announcement.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
But we do have other questions. Our first question is from Kurt in Prescott. He's got a new neighbor that now he's looking from his kitchen window into their bathroom window. And he wants to block that. He's up on a ridge line where the wind blows and blows and blows. So he needs something tough that can get fairly tall, 6 to 8 feet, and take that wind and abuse.
So is that Kurt with a C or Kurt with a K? Sorry, didn't mean to choke you up there. Sorry, allergies still going on. Okay, so Kurt, yes, you need to be careful. These are ridge lines. You need plants that can take the wind. And I'm sure what you didn't say was you've got great views and no soil. So it seems like those ridge lines, all the soil kind of settles and runs. So you got rocks or soils in between the boulders. We almost make little pockets for plants to go into. There are certain plants are going to love that. Some are going to hate that. What to look at. So a window's typically, 6 to 8 feet up off the ground. So it sounds like Kurt's wanting something 6 to 8 feet, maybe taller, and it's a neighbor, so it's a side yard. So I'm doing some assumptions. Kurt, take a picture, bring it in. We can do so much more with that. But anyway, we look at so many things. We could probably help you with that. Look at number one seller, red-tipped Photinia. There's one called Red Rocket. Was that the name? Red Dynamite. Red Dynamite.
Dynamo.
Red Dynamo, red-tipped Photinia. It gets up about head high, a little bit taller, thick as can be. We shear it or hedge it quite often, and it's quite handsome.
Mhm.
Another one, if it's a side yard and you've got a fence, you just need something to crawl up it, you could look at vines. So we use that often on side yards. So honeysuckle, Virginia creeper. Gosh, there's so many. What's the one with the red flower? Trumpet vine. There's a bunch of them. They'll grow up to the top of the wall and about 2 feet above. So you can kind of picture how far that's going to go up there. And vines are very strong, especially the native ones, at taking our wind and our sun. I would say the one that I like the most, just my personal, I like silverberry or Ellie Agnes. It's a native plant. It's an evergreen, gets up well above head high, width-wise, but it's as tall as red-tip Photinia, but way stronger. It doesn't get the disease. Animals don't eat on it. It's stronger. And once it gets up to size, you don't have to water it again ever. No care. So Ellie Agnes or silverberry is the native one. A companion to that would be cotoneaster or cotton Easter is how it's kind of spelled. But there's one called red clusterberry. Yeah, red clusterberry cotoneaster. Very fast grower. It might be too big for a side yard. That's one, take a picture. It helps us a lot to get you the right. When we look at a picture, we're looking at what else is growing there. So companion plants. We're looking at shadowing because now it's north, south, east, west. And then we might ask you what neighborhood you live in because we know the soils, what kind of soil Southview has as opposed to, Quailwood. We'll just kind of know all that. And so we might help you with that so we can get the right plant in the right spot. But red clusterberry cotoneaster, tremendous plant, fast growth, white flowers in spring, red flowers through the winter.
Red berries.
Oh, right. Yeah. Red berries through the winter. Quite striking.
It is. What do you think of junipers? What of a Spartan juniper? Which
Sure. Or even your blue arrows. They're narrow but tall. Looks quite striking down that in between you and your neighbor looking in. So we can help you with privacy. That's one you probably, instead of just winging it, you probably need to know more. Hey, Doc, I stubbed my toe. Do you know what's wrong? Well, no, I can't tell you. Hey, Doc, I need new hair implants. Well, let's see what color it is. Let's see more. It's a bad analogy. We won't go down that path anymore. So anyway, what else you got?
Don't make me laugh. It's not good. All right. James is in Prescott. He put a new lawn in March.
Okay.
So new lawn coming up.
Great.
Wants to know, it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
Should I change my watering frequency and length, or what do you recommend for new lawns?
So watering, specifically lawns. So don't ever change how long it runs. Just get rid of that variable. Otherwise, you will confuse yourself till you just don't know what to do anymore. Find out how long it takes to water a lawn well, or a plant, tree, shrubs, whatever. And then don't ever change that. You always run it for 32 minutes or however long you're doing yours. And now all you're dealing with is how frequent should I do it? Way easy variable than how long, or should I change the emitter head, or should I change, just find out what makes them happy at any season. And then all you're playing with, how many days do I skip before I run it again? So my guess is right now we're getting to the 80s, close to 90. You're getting some wind. It's maybe not quite humid yet. The monsoons aren't quite here. I'm guessing you are with a brand new lawn every other day. That's be my guess. Start with that. You're probably every third day or so, maybe twice a week. Right now, I'd maybe bump it up. Take one day out of in between those water cycles and start with that. The great thing is lawns are really good at talking to you. They start to lay down. You walk on them. You can see your feet. Just when you see that, oh, let me just water a little bit, not longer, more frequently. So that's it for this segment. Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this.
Plants are a lot like puppies. They need care, water, and food.
You wouldn't forget to feed your puppies, so don't forget to feed your plants.
Water's 744 all-purpose plant food is a gourmet meal for your plants.
The only food for Arizona plants with the nutrients they need for big blooms, a hefty harvest, and tremendous trees, all naturally.
It's time to feed your plants with 744 all-purpose plant food from Waters Garden Center in Prescott.
You're listening to Ken Lain, aka the Top 10 Gardener. Ken can be found throughout the week in Prescott at Waters Family Garden Center. Listen daily as he answers the top 10 questions of the week, streaming on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts.